It wasn't that long ago. I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize the person staring back. My body was mid. My mind was fried. My purpose was nowhere to be found. I'd fallen off, not just from personal development, from myself, but rock bottom has a gift. It gives you a clear view of what needs to change. During my 5th year of high school, everything started to fall apart. I didn't want to be there, I couldn't focus, and worst of all, I felt sorry for myself. My grades were slipping, my energy was gone. I was stuck in a rut I couldn't climb out of. The craziest part? Just 1 year earlier, I had it all dialed in. My physique, my mindset, my business. It was easy to blame school, the system, the environment, but the truth? The enemy was me. I let go of all the habits that built me. I got lazy, and I gave into the one force that kills more dreams than failure ever could. Complacency. When I finally dropped out of high school, I was left with nothing but silence. And one haunting question echoing in my mind.
Who are you? And what do you want?
That question haunted me. It followed me everywhere. In the shower, walking to work, lying in bed at night. I kept asking myself who I was, but no matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find the answer. And you know what it's like to feel lost. You start searching, YouTube, podcasts, books, just hoping that something will click. But the more I consumed, the more confused I became. So instead, I got a job. I buried my head in the sand and I got comfortable. I thought back to the path I used to walk. Why did I stop meditating? Maybe I was just distracted. And maybe the answer was always there, waiting for me to come back. I needed personal development. To master your mind, you've got to master your body first, so that's where I began. I'd been training for 3 years, but I got comfortable. The weights were familiar, the effort was average, and average was not going to save me. So I turned up the intensity. Push, pull, legs. 6 days a week, clean food, deep sleep, locked in. No more half reps, no more skipping leg day. Week in, week out, I stayed on the path. As a young man, the body is your foundation. That's why physicality is element 1. The first brick in building your avatar. By October, I hit my peak weight. I benched 100 kg, a number that meant more than strength. It meant I was back. Once I had my body back, it was time to take on my mind. Physically, I felt strong again, but mentally, I was scattered. Still glued to my phone, still wasting my potential. So I went ghost, deleted social media, I wanted to disappear, and return to someone I respected. That's when everything started to shift. I built a morning routine from scratch. Silence before chaos. Meditation. Gratitude journaling. No sudden dopamine spikes in the morning. Just clarity. Don't get me wrong, the results did not come overnight, but after 2 months of showing up daily, my mind was clear and I finally had a grip on myself again. Identity was always my hardest battle. Imposter syndrome, doing things to impress, wearing masks just to fit in. Truth is, I didn't even know who I was. So I sat down with a piece of paper and I started writing. Who am I really? What do I stand for? What would I do if nobody else was watching? I realized I'd been chasing things that weren't mine. Businesses that looked good on the outside but felt empty on the inside. I tried dropshipping, crypto, freelance, nothing clicked. But one thing kept echoing in the back of my mind. The thing I tried to leave behind. The thing I thought was cringe. The thing I knew I was meant for. Creating, becoming a storyteller, a filmmaker. That's when it hit me. This isn't just a phase, and it's not just a side hobby. This is me. Creativity was always my edge. As a kid, I lived on YouTube.
Happy New Year, it's 2017!
Making Fortnite videos, Minecraft edits, vlogs with 0 views. I didn't care, I just loved it. Creating was my freedom, and it was how I expressed myself when words didn't work. But somewhere along the way I stopped. School, ego, fear of being judged, all of it pushed me to put the camera down. And once I did, life just didn't feel the same. I was training hard, meditating, and doing all the right things, but something was still missing. Something that couldn't be tracked with metrics. I wasn't creating, and that's when I realized this isn't just a side quest. Creativity is my core, the final element that makes me feel whole. And I'm finally back behind the lens, but this time, I'm doing it with a purpose. Personal development saved my life. More than once. It helped me break records I never thought was possible. It taught me how to suffer and turn pain into power. And don't get me wrong, I'm still far from perfect and I have a lot to work on myself. But the next level is clear now, because I know how hard it is to grow up today. The distractions are endless, the dopamine is everywhere, and you're being pulled in 100 directions, but none of them lead you anywhere. I've lived it, I've lost myself, and I've rebuilt myself. Through it all, I've realized something. This isn't a war on weapons, it's a war with yourself. The only way to win is by building your avatar. Physicality, mentality, identity, creativity. Master these 4 elements of personal development, become unstoppable. This path was always yours. Now it's time to walk it.
Looking at my bitch, I bet she give your ass a bone. Looking at my wrist,
What careful,
your ass to stone. Stretch limousines, all alone.
This year, hopefully I can get a lot more subscribers and I've got massive news.